the paradox that the human being has is that they want change, but they also want stability at the same time. The two things are opposite. So people want to know that they get new running shoes. They want the most modern running shoes, and they want a new running shoe every year. But they want stability, so you brand it. Now, with a human being running a family, the child needs stability, they need predictability, but they also want change. And we've always had change. Change is nothing new. Granted, it's much more rapid today, and the technology is rapid, but we've always had change. And people can handle that, but they want stability at the same time. And as we know, in this day and age, we're going through unprecedented change, but if we keep to values are eternal. And if the family has a set of values, that doesn't change. From generation to generation, your values should remain the same. And the values give the family stability, and then they can deal with technology and change. So whether, when people say computers are ruining children's lives, no, computers can't make a child immoral. It's an instrument. And they can be immoral without an instrument. You don't need technology to be immoral. And so what keeps you from being immoral is values, not technology. I'm very clear about when you start with discipline. Discipline begins the day the child becomes mobile, crawling and getting into danger and mischief. We're all forced into discipline then. And what is your discipline involve for those first 2.5 years? Keeping your property from danger and keeping the child from danger. So you're going to have to be running after the child all day. No, you can't eat stones. No, you can't play with dog's poo. No, you can't run across a road. No, you can't climb over a swimming pool fence. It's keeping danger away from the child because they're not cognitively able to foresee consequences. So it shouldn't be punitive, the discipline. It is a matter of safety. And you're not wasting your time because gradually the child is developing speech, and you're laying the foundation for rules later on. He's learning there are things in life I can do, there are things in life I can't do. After about 3, they can start foreseeing consequences, they develop speech, they want rules, they like rules, and they make rules. Right, traditionally we've said the mother is the nurturing side of the family and the father is more the disciplinary side of the family. But as we know, lines are becoming blurred these days. Before, mother stayed at home, father went to work. Father was an engineer. If mother worked, she was a nurse. Today, lines are very much blurred, and I believe really that the burden of discipline shouldn't be dumped on the father alone. It's a shared role, and you each discipline in your own way, but you have the same rule. Even though each child is unique, there are certain milestones that you look for with a child, beginning right from birth, when they're able to sit, when they're able to babble, when they're able to stand, crawl, walk, etc. So those are very clear physical milestones that you can get. With behavior, certainly in the first 2.5 years, you can't talk about a naughty child. A child does things that you might feel, but they're really nuisance value behavior things. A little boy of 2 will come into your lounge kicking a soccer ball. He's not being naughty. He doesn't know what the problem is. So parents must distinguish between what is naughty, deliberate behavior, and certainly up until about 2.5, they're not cognitively able to distinguish on a value system what's right and what's wrong. Then once they start understanding speech and you can discuss rules and norms with them, that's when you expect some kind of conformity as they start growing older. So you have definite, simple rules. If they break those rules, then there's a consequence. Now, the child who cannot keep to simple rules and with positive parents, then you might begin to feel there's a problem, and usually the parent isn't the best judge of that, because we only have one child of 3 at a time, and we don't have, I say, the nursery school teacher, or even the creche teacher, the primary school teacher. The nursery school teacher has 24-year-olds in her class every year, and probably has her own 4-year-old. So when you start looking at a problem, you want to see with someone who has got an educated, objective standard. And even then, you wouldn't say that the child's got a problem. The teacher would express, for instance, that the child can't concentrate, the child can't sit still. But that wouldn't be necessarily a problem. Now you've got to measure that more scientifically. And then you might send the child, say, to a neurologist who might do an EEG to find out if the child is hyperactive. So it's not just a simple thing, the child's naughty or not naughty. It's, does the child's behavior conform to certain generalized standards as they go?